In Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, the Bible tells us, "And God said, Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." God placed Adam in charge over the entire creation. In the book God's Amazing Grace, page 40, paragraph 2, Ellen White writes these interesting words. Adam was crowned king in Eden. To him was given dominion over every living thing that God had created. Dominion to our fallen minds suggests dictatorship, harsh rulership, but the dominion of God is best expressed in Hebrews 1 verse 8. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A sceptre of righteousness is the sceptre of thy kingdom. God's rulership is not dictatorship. It is a selfless love that he has for all that is his. This was to be reflected in Adam's dominion over the creation. And remember again, the verse says, "Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." They were subject to Adam. They were to obey Adam. This dominion began before Adam had children. Adam was caring for the environment before he cared for children, because children did not appear surely until several months after Adam and Eve were made. The point I'm trying to make is that caring for the environment is in God's eyes a most important responsibility. And what makes up the environment? We go back to Genesis 1:26, also repeated in verse 28. The fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, the cattle, every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Living things are stressed, they're emphasized as having been placed under Adam's loving dominion. This surely did not require Adam to kill them and put them on a plate. This was not God's desire, intention at all. This came about because of sin and the destruction caused by the flood. I repeat, originally, God's ideal will, and we must always strive for what is ideal. It was that Adam would have dominion, would rule over an environment in love, in righteousness, even as God ruled over the entire universe. Killing animals and putting them on a plate as food was never God's intention when he placed Adam over the animals and the animals in subjection to him. My listening friend, this audio is not intended to offend in any way, but merely to enlighten. Our responsibility for the environment still goes on according to God, because the environment expresses to some degree the glory and the beauty and the love of God. Killing and murder and bloodshed are not part of this image. And so, as you keep the Sabbath holy, remember, as a descendant of Adam, you have a responsibility to care for God's environment. Yes, it is severely marred because of sin, and one day God will remake it and restore it to its original beauty and perhaps even more. But until then, remember that God requires you and me to care for his environment, not only for trees, gardens, but for the living creatures as well. Care for them, take care of them, and in so doing, reflect God's universal dominion. It was not his will that those placed under the dominion of man would end up on his plate. May the Lord bless you and doubly bless your children as you keep the Sabbath holy to commemorate creation when the animals were made, to commemorate the fact that God arranged for humanity to have dominion over the environment. God bless you. Happy Sabbath and a double blessing upon your children.